heart attack, fast fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and packs. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now, get ready for defeat now.
Excuse me, waiter. Yes, hello, sir. My name's Izuku. And how may I be of service today? Yes, well, I was actually hoping I can get another cup of coffee. This is actually really good. Yes, sir, we'll be right out in 1 moment. Anything else? No, actually, I think I'll be fine. I do have to get to a meeting in 30 minutes. Hopefully, though, I have enough time to catch another cup. The train down the street, do you know what time it gets here? I believe roughly 15, sir. Alright, thank you. As I run back over to the counter, and quickly ask for more cups of coffee, asking for orders, asking for anything. Eto's got me covered, along with Bakugo. She's having a bit of fun running around and, at least, well, manning people, helping out and taking out food. Basically helping to make sure I'm not being overwhelmed here. While Momo, she's in the back preparing coffee and other delicacies, other things. She's always had this weird fascination with human food. I couldn't really understand it. And, well, later on that day, we closed up shop. And we all head home. Yoshimura, he doesn't really own the shop anymore. In fact, after he kind of fell and had a heart attack, he kind of thought that he should just sit back and relax for a while. Can't blame the old guy. He's getting very, well, I don't want to say old, but I also don't want to say frail. He's always been just like my dad. Yeah. Always reminds me of him. Then again, I do have dinner with him and my mom later tonight. And most of us are going to be free. So I don't see why not we can't just have a family gathering. We can invite Mitsuki, hell, even Mr. Yaoyorozu. It'd be perfect. Now, later on into the day, all of them are there. And Midoriya, he's simply sitting at the table, after bringing out some plates. Eto commenting on the fact that it's basically just like being back at work, or running the shop. Midoriya just laughing it off and saying that it's actually a bit more simple than that. The food they're having today is for them. And, hey, at least it's one of our favorites, right? Yep. Traditional old food. I don't really know. Well, I would probably butcher if I tried pronouncing it. But I think it's like a really fancy Japanese cuisine. I don't even want to give it a shot. My Japanese is terrible. But actually, I can't even think of the syllables for it now that I'm actually trying to say it out loud. Jesus. Anyways, now they do set that down. Midoriya grabs a slice of it, then biting into it. It tastes great. The spices, everything. It's unique. It's actually pretty good. And Midoriya looks back up from his plate. Everyone's gone. And he looks back down to see an eyeball in his food. Midoriya then just jumping out of his chair and backing up, trying to figure all this out. Confused. As he does hear a voice. 3 of them, yelling and asking him to come back to them. He can't leave them. Not like this. Midoriya, confused, and simply just watching as the thing on his plate begins to grow in size and take shape. the table being crushed under its weight, and Midoriya taking off, simply running over and pulling the door almost off of its hinges. Whenever Midoriya pulled it, as soon as the door stopped, he ripped out the knob, and someone just stared at it, turning and tossing it backwards before simply just running out and taking off, before he hears a giant sound. And, well, he then leaves, just running as fast as he can, watching as, whenever he is at a stoplight, he goes to run into the crosswalk. However, something slithers across, a giant snake, and there's that monster chasing him. Midoriya is simply just running in a different direction, until he's cornered. And, well, Midoriya is completely encompassed in darkness, and he hears a voice. The voice in the dark, telling Midoriya to simply sleep, rest. You've earned it. You should sleep. It's time. You're tired, aren't you? What? No, I'm not. Yes, you are. You've been fighting for a long time. And you're going to start aging sooner, aren't you? Haven't you noticed flickers in your eyes? What? No, my eyesight's perfectly fine. What are you? I'm nothing. And everything. I'm the void. The void inside you. What is this? Just let me go. I don't. I don't feel tired. You're very tired. Go back to sleep. Midoriya, falling asleep. And he simply is back at the cafe, opening his eyes before looking around, as he lives out a different day at work. And this happens over and over and over again. Meanwhile, back in the real world, and outside of Dragon, we do have the CCG. And well, it's been roughly 3 months. And trying to find Midoriya, and that ginormous creature has shown no results. They've had ideas and theories and other things. Nothing has been concrete. And it's all really just speculation now at this point. The CCG, they had to have a ceasefire with Origiri. Origiri was confused, and hearing their leader call a ceasefire, every ghoul in the city did not kill. However, this was before new ghouls started to emerge, a hybrid species. People with weird ghoul abilities and quirks. The quirks they were born with, ghoul abilities they weren't. And ghouls tried to step in and help out. That was the first week, and most people call that Ghoul Intoxication Week. The ghouls stepped in and tried to fight against those things. Tried to help and save people from the damage and the devastation. Whatever that thing is, it's simply just disturbing. It's a monster. And people have speculations. One of the few things found in the devastation was a recording of the One-Eyed King. Now, some people have speculated, and the CCG does at least have reason to believe that that is the One-Eyed King, and he is going through a metamorphosis. or is simply a bioterrorist, a bioorganic weapon in ghoul biology, or basically a life hack, since he's transforming people into ghouls. Now, the director of the CCG, he tried to control the situation. Mere hours after the dragon appearance, or, well, being released upon the city, the leader of the CCG, a Washu Ghoul, crap, I don't remember his name, he tried to, well, get things under control. And that was whenever Origiri Tree tried stepping in. After the first week, a lot of their ghouls were bedridden, and showed signs of being transformed into something else. Being more or less either inoculized to the virus, or possibly having their RC cells rapidly increase. Now, this is quite interesting. Momo and Eto, along with Bakugo, they had ideas and ways they could possibly deal with this outcome. If that thing really is Midoriya, then they have to try and get him out of there. The CCG, yeah, being stubborn as they were, it took a bit of time. But after the first week, the CCG decided to begin to work with ghouls, especially because they stopped wearing their mask, and they walked in public. They tried to fight against dragon orphans and save people, their neighbors, their loved ones, and, well, even complete strangers. Some ghouls showing off heroic hearts, and being swiftly taken down due to killing a dragon orphan. Now, with that out of the way, we do have today. Today is something different. Today is the 3-month mark for Dragon, and it has been docile for about a week. Speculations believe, or recent data suggest Dragon will be operational again soon. And they do need to find Midoriya, as you do have Eto arguing with a man in charge of the CCG, the man by the name Washu, simply going back and forth as to what is going on. Bakugo simply just staring out the window and waiting. While you do have Momo. Momo, yeah, she was one of the first people to be taken down in the ongoing chaos. She isn't dead, but she was hit by whatever that thing was. The thing that spewed, well, RC crap in her face. And she's been bedridden for about a couple weeks. Well, you do have Bakugo, who simply puts on a gas mask and heads out, leaving Eto there to bicker, as the man simply tries to figure all this out. This wasn't supposed to happen, at least not yet, or right now. What he was doing, well, he was going to get it set into motion, then force his hand. However, this is unbelievable. His experiment went through everything, every step. All he needed to do was simply give it the final push. And he is curious. The one-eyed king, a natural-born half-ghoul, and 4 are C-types. Whatever that thing is out there is quite simply marvelous. Now, this is where you also have Eri, who is with Eto, asking exactly what is going on, and trying to figure all of this out. They're not really too sure. They've been trying to do a lot of things and understand recent data. However, it's all fuzzy and weird. They've tried tracking Midoriya down with that bracelet. They found it. However, it was somewhere else. Wherever it was, well, it was buried deep inside that thing, and ripping it out did not give them the idea they had. They thought he'd be with it. It would be wrapped around his arm. It wasn't. And then there's simply the fact that fighting this thing has simply just been like throwing. What is it? It's basically just been like throwing a baseball at a wall, or kicking a kickball against a wall. You can hit it, you can shoot it, you can blow it up, and you can even try burning it. But the thing simply just will not stop. In fact, after the first month, they figured it out. If they didn't mess with it for a while, it would go docile, before simply becoming active once more. The CCG has tried going into a large, underbelly of it, and blowing it up. That stopped the dragon for about a week. However, he was spraying RC gas non-stop. The orphans were not present. However, they basically opened a gas valve. And over 75% of the city was infected in that single day alone. Now, with that out of the way, you do have Bakugo, who she is out. And it's been roughly about a week. She's been digging through everything, looking through any idea where she could find him. They found Midoriya's watch in one place. Then, she suddenly began to look for places just like that one. She's gone through roughly about probably 2% of the biomass of the entire city. Now, she does continue, however, and she simply does scream out and try and call for Midoriya, trying to get his attention. As Midoriya wakes up once again, and he does hear a voice, and he is back at the void. However, whenever Dragon tells him to simply rest, go back to sleep, you're tired. Midoriya, he begins to do so. However, he hears that voice again, accompanied by two more. He recognizes that voice, and the other two. However, it's quite weird not. That one voice, distinct, and it's shining through better than the other two. It's easier for him to focus on, as Midoriya begins to walk in that direction. And Dragon simply tells Midoriya to stop. He's in control. I've been taking care of you. Taking care of me? The hell are you on about? I am Dragon. That is what they call me. I fixed you. Fixed? What do you mean? Human DNA. Material. Body. Renewed. What? You did something to me? Yes. Fixed. No. I'm still me. Midoriya running his hands over his body, as he silly shouts at Dragon to let him go. And it does not work. However, something does manifest. something manifests directly in front of him. It is simply a body, and it is completely covered in this weird material. Dragon simply asks Midoriya if he wants to be renewed, if he wants to simply be fixed. Explaining to Midoriya in his own voice, this will fix their aging problem. This will make it to where he will live a natural life. And, hell, it's gonna be easy. Besides, don't you want to be powerful and strong? What? No! I don't seek power. I just wanted peace. Peace by war. Peace by fear. Same thing. Now, Midoriya, he does not like that, as he begins to try and fight against Dragon. This is becoming a battle of will, and this is what it comes down to. Midoriya's power versus Dragon's. Meanwhile, in the real world, something else is going on. You do have Midoriya, or, well, his brides. They have been trying to figure this all out, and it has not been easy. With Momo gone in the first week, yeah, that left Bakugo and Eto. They were the ones who had to try and figure this all out. Then there was the director of the CCG. He basically had to come forwards as a half ghoul, since Eto basically forced him to. Once they found it out, the CCG began to not trust anyone, or anything. And the reason why the man admitted it was because he stated that Izuku Midoriya, he is quite simply that creature. And things will be easier to talk with and reveal if he comes forward with this information, since it is quite possible that he was already infected. Now, this, however, does not buy into quite a lot of people's ideas or information they've learned about Dragon. The man is a natural, or probably man-made, one-eyed ghoul. It does not matter. Then there is him. The way he's talking about Midoriya, it sounds like he knows him, or at least thinks that he does. Now, with that being said, Momo and Bakugo, or Eto and Momo, Jesus, Eto and Bakugo, I am sorry, they are on a mission today. They believe they've found the direct source of Dragon, and going there will possibly shed some light on everything. Dragon is docile at this moment, and he went into phase, well, 3 again. Phase 3 is quite simple. He's already gone through 2 phases, and if he reaches phase 3, usually it gives them time. For the first week of a month, or roughly about 10 to 9 days, Dragon will emerge, or awaken, spreading RC cells all around the city, and this gas. Then, Dragon Orphans will bring back as many people as they can, infected with these RC cells, either mutating or killing them. And that is what they do for the next 10 days. And for stage 3, Dragon begins to break down these orphans, gathering RC cells that they themselves have interacted with and absorbed. Then, during an entire day, Dragon will completely recreate the orphans, and they will be back to stage 1. Now, this gives them roughly a few days, or at least a full day. They believe. Upon observation, it's shown data might be inconsistent. However, they should have more than at least a couple hours. Momo and Bakugo making their way directly towards the center. This ginormous flower-like construct. And they find it. With that being said, this ginormous construct houses the man that they love, Izuku Midoriya. He's simply just laying there, curled up into a ball. And he does actually open his eyes to look at them, before simply whispering, "Tired," and looking back down, with no real gaze in his eyes. Now, if they break this or get him out of there, then that means that this will be complete. They will have him. And it's going to be quite simple. However, Bakugo does have a different theory. If they simply break that thing open, or, well, harvest it before it hatches, it might kill Midoriya. And their mission today was to destroy the direct center, the giant beam into the air. It's either that, or they try and force him awake. Now, their whole plan simply consists of trying to get Midoriya under control. Midoriya is going to have to try and get Dragon under control. And if this thing is a Kakuja, then Midoriya can simply take it back. Bring it back, right? He can at least try. As that is a good point to leave this off of. And I do hope you guys enjoyed.